They say every family faces storms. But what happens when the storm doesn't pass? When bills pile up, words turn into silence, and love feels distant? For us, it wasn't just one bad month. It was a season when our faith was tested beyond what we thought we could endure. But in the middle of all that chaos, we discovered something deeper, that faith isn't about escaping the storm. It's about learning to walk through it together. It started the year Dad lost his job. He'd worked for 20 years at the same company, loyal, disciplined, proud. Then one morning, they called him in, shook his hand, and said, "We're downsizing." Just like that. He came home carrying a small box with his coffee mug and photo of us, and for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. At first, we tried to stay positive. "It's fine, something better will come," Mom said, forcing a smile at dinner. But weeks turned into months, and the savings faded faster than hope. The fridge became emptier, arguments louder, and laughter rare. I remember one night, I found Dad sitting alone on the porch. The wind was cold, but he didn't move. I asked if he was okay, and he said quietly, "I've always been the one who fixes things, but now, I don't even know where to start." That night, I heard Mom praying in our small room. She didn't ask God for money or miracles. She simply whispered, "Lord, help us not to lose faith in you or in each other." Something in that prayer broke me. Because faith wasn't about pretending everything was okay. It was about trusting even when it's not. The next day, she gathered us around the table. "We're going to pray together every night," she said. "Not because we're desperate, but because we still believe." At first, it felt strange. We were used to talking about problems, not praying about them. But night after night, our living room became a small altar. We prayed for strength, for peace, for direction. And slowly, something began to shift. Dad still didn't have a job, but he began helping neighbors fix things. Mom started baking bread and selling it at the local market. My brother mowed lawns. We became a team again. And while money didn't flow, peace did. There were still tears, but there was also laughter again. There was still uncertainty, but also a quiet faith that whispered, "We're not alone." Have you ever watched your family go through something that felt impossible to survive? Maybe it was sickness, loss, or betrayal. Something that left you wondering, "God, where are you?" If you've been there, you know what we learned. Faith doesn't always fix things instantly, but it changes how you see them. And sometimes that's the real miracle. If your family has ever found strength through faith, type "Amen" in the comments. You never know who your story might touch. Months later, something unexpected happened. A man from church offered Dad a small repair job, fixing furniture at a local community center. It wasn't much, but he took it. One day, an older gentleman walked in, saw Dad's craftsmanship, and asked, "Have you ever thought about starting your own workshop?" That man became Dad's mentor, and a year later, Dad opened a small but thriving woodworking shop. We didn't just rebuild our finances, we rebuilt our faith. That experience taught us that God doesn't always deliver us from the storm. Sometimes He delivers us through it, and the strength we build while trusting Him becomes the foundation for the rest of our lives. If you're walking through a storm right now, stop for a moment. Breathe. You're not forgotten. The same God who carried us through our hardest days can carry you too. Just hold on, not to fear, but to faith. Lord, thank you for turning our breaking point into a turning point. Thank you for proving that faith is not about having everything. It's about trusting you when we have nothing. Thank you for teaching us that family love, grounded in faith, can survive any storm. If this story reminded you of your own, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Because somewhere out there, a family is praying for hope tonight. Subscribe to A Gift Called Family. And together, let's spread stories of faith, love, and God's grace that strengthen families around the world.